Question 1. The environment is composed of our vegetation, animals, microorganisms, rocks, oil, natural resources, such as water, such as energy, radiation, odors. The preservation of the environment depends on the awareness and the participation of our individuals in a society. The citizenship for the environment preservation should include activities and concepts that contribute to the conservation of the environment. In this way, it is important to educate citizens of different age, child, young, through awareness, raising in school and everywhere. In addition to environmental education, sustainability is one of the most important factors to ensure the preservation of the environment. Number 2, the colonize in its entire process as well as slavery led to the emergence of many poor people throughout the Brazilian territory. The end of the slavery and the beginning of the rural exodus aggravated the poverty. The freed slaves didn't have a job opportunity, and the people who migrated to the city didn't get good housing because of the limited infrastructure of urban space. In this way, there was the accentuation of the poverty in Brazil. The suburb and the informal work was growing. The poorest people still live on the sidelines, violence, the increased due to the inequality of opportunities. Currently, poverty in Brazil is assessed to the follow indicatives, two indicatives, the poverty and the extreme poverty. Poverty covers people living with a monthly income that doesn't exceed 140 real per month. On the side, this extreme poverty covers people living on a monthly income that doesn't exceed 70 real. Thanks.
There are actions we can take to reduce pollution, such as encouraging the use of alternative means of transportation to the car, as well as the implementation of quality collective transportation systems, reduce the use of pesticides, preferring biological alternatives, maintenance and creating of green areas in urban spaces such as woods, squares, parks, and green corridors, promotes the control of fires in crops, pasture areas, and in regions with natural vegetation cover. Women around the world enjoy more rights than ever before, but they are still subject to discrimination in their workplace and frequent victims of domestic violence. Violence is one of the most perverse forms of discrimination against women. In Brazil, research reveals that this kind of violence action compromises 10.5% of the Brazilian domestic product, with health expenses and labor shortages. And much of the crime happens in the family environment itself, which intimidates the accusations and disrupts the punishment. Another data that points out the disadvantage of women in relation to men is in the labor market. According to the Brazilian Institute of Geographic and Statistics, even though the family population represents 43% of the economically active population, about 31% of them receive lower wages than men at the day of schooling, equal or writing.
To help poor people. Hello everyone, my position is yes. To show the help, he is responsible for social management, has the duty to give quality and opportunity to the people has governed, not just the poor, but to every citizen, with the discrimination, adapting to equity in the social projects. Should the rich people help poor people? Yes. Contribute from white people or countries to help people and countries that are in a state of poverty or social inequality must be present. Creating on and social actions to alleviate this situation. That indicates the poverty has to all the are rich or poor. It's one of poverty observes that poverty is directly linked to the increase in violence and the lack of education. Place where the right to live of income. Inequalities are found online. The state will not take account of everything the current social inequality that's present in the world. Any societies present in the world have the right to life of quality and dignity to life.
The online drugs market is the most striking example, according to international law enforcement officials, of China's reluctance to take actions against the sale of synthetic drugs. China says it has made thousands of arrests and is collaboration with foreign police force. Still, there is a claim that the Chinese show little interest in combating what they see as a problem of only cultures with drugs. China is now one of the largest production and exporter of synthetic drugs, including methamphetamine and of components used in manufacturing. One example is Mexico, faced with the intensification of the relegation of also colored precursor and chemicals in several countries. Mexican cartels began to seize their raw materials in China's chemical factories. It is said that China has a huge chemical industry and the state has to capture to monitor and control this sector. The online drugs single-child policy was a policy implemented by the government of China, with the exception of Hubei province. China is a country with the largest population in the world, with more than 1,300,000,000 inhabitants. The policy was launched in 1970 with the objectives of reducing population growth and thus facilitating the access of the population of the country to a system of health and quality education. It consisted of a law according to which it was forbidden for any couple to have more than one children. Couples who had more than one children were punished with severe fines. There are now about 80 million unique children in China. They are known as little imperiation. In October of 2015, however, the Chinese government abolished the law due to adherence of the population allowing up to 2 children per family.